Stick, 3 weeks into your role as chairman. How's that gone? Baptism of fire, or?
Yeah, I think baptism of fire is probably the right phrase. 3 weeks in which you've had to appoint a new manager and launch season ticket prices, having discussed that at length. So, yeah, it's been enjoyable. It hasn't really, it's flown by. I was a period last week where I wasn't enjoying a lot of sleep, to be honest, because of the many things that were whirring around in my very vacant mind. But yeah, it was good to get everything sorted with Paul and get that appointment in place, because obviously at the end of the day, that having a manager that you hope is going to take you forward positively is absolutely crucial for any football club. So it was really pleasing to get that in place, and yeah, I think in the end we were delighted to get to where we got to.
I think during the interview process, you were pinching yourself a few times, thinking, many a time you've sat and criticised or praised previous appointments, and now it's kind of you're an integral part of making that appointment.
Yeah, it was a bit bonkers, to be honest, because I have wasted, probably like most supporters, I've wasted many hours in the past, over the past 40 years for me, thinking about possible managerial appointments and stuff. And actually, to be really, really right involved on this time was probably an honour and a privilege, but it felt quite high pressure, and it kind of felt very, very real, as it should. Obviously, we're all aware that any managerial appointment's very important, and they come with, sadly, they always come with an element of risk. It doesn't matter who you appoint, but yeah, no, the process worked really well. Obviously, we saw a good number of candidates on it'd be a week on Friday come in, and they were all really impressive. And then we reduced it down to a short list of 3 who we saw last Wednesday. And then obviously, as a board, after presentations from the candidate, we made our final decision, and that's where we came to Paul Caddis. And yeah, really, really pleased with that. He was very impressive. He was, I think I've already said, he was probably the least experienced in terms of managerial experience and coaching experience in many ways, but his hunger and his drive and determination just really, really impressed. And everything that he said, you could just see he's desperate for the opportunity. And deep down, I was thinking, if we don't give him this chance, then there's every chance another club will, and we may live to regret it. So at that point in time, that was one of the things that we decided to give it a go. I'd obviously done quite a bit of due diligence in terms of calls and checks, and spoke to a few people who all spoke very positively. Graham Turner was really engaged with him at the very first interview that we had, and yeah, in the end, that's the route we decided to go down. I'm really pleased to have got him in place, and it was interested to sit alongside him at the game on Saturday and just listen to him talk about football. So yeah, fingers crossed we've made the right decision, Jay. No guarantees, but I think we've done it for all the right reasons. You were obviously heavily involved. I don't know how much use you were, Jay, as usual, but you were heavily involved. So yeah, it was all good.
Yeah, you say he was at the game Saturday. Obviously, he doesn't actually start until the 1st of May, but he's already kind of pressing ahead and planning for next season, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly really excited to have got the opportunity, which is really refreshing. Plenty of messages coming through, plenty of questions, as you'd expect. And he knows he's got a lot to do. He's got a lot to learn and a lot to get on with. But yeah, as I said, he's really, really excited. He's clearly very motivated to do the job and to get the job right and start his coaching career off successfully. So I really look forward to working with him, and really look forward to seeing how he does get on.
And there's the Meet the Manager event on Tuesday, the 2nd of May. I think the one thing in the interviews that really came across was his kind of his hunger was kind of infectious for us in the room, the other side of the table. And I think, I hope that's going to come across in the Meet the Manager event as well.
Yeah, no, it's really important that we try and get that event done as early as possible, because then obviously he can then get his head down and go away and get on with the work that he needs to be doing across the closed season. So yeah, that should be a really interesting event. I'm confident that he'll come across really well with everybody, and they'll really buy into the messages that, if he talks in the same way he did to us at the interviews, then I don't think people will fail to be impressed. And I think they'll be as excited as we are. And hopefully, the fact that he's coming in and his drive and determination will really help move the season ticket sales along, because I think it could be a really exciting time for the club.
Obviously, we've still got one game left of this season, and it's worth giving Jan and Kevin and the staff and the players the credit, but probably most importantly, a big thank you to Jan for stepping up, firstly as the interim manager, and then agreeing to extend that to the end of the season, because that gave us that stability to take a little bit more time on the managerial appointment, didn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And I have to say, I mean, I'm 3 weeks in, and Jan has made my life so much easier than it could have been coming in as fresh as I have. He's just been an absolute pleasure to deal with. He's clearly a real gentleman, a top bloke, and I think he's done a really decent job in tough circumstances, picking up from Josh, and I think he's done great. And I think we all owe him a debt of gratitude for what he's done for this football club, and I'm really grateful. And again, Kevin, obviously it's been a shorter period, but Kevin's been really, really great to deal with, and everything about them has been really professional, and I've really enjoyed working with them. And as I say, I think we owe them a real debt of gratitude. And I'd thank them on behalf of everybody for how they've been for the football club.
So away from the football pitch, obviously you touched on it right at the start, but one of the biggest decisions or projects we've been undertaking since you've been here is the season ticket prices, and it's not quite as easy as just plucking some figures out of the air. There's a lot of thought has gone behind trying to make the prices as realistic and as affordable as possible, whilst kind of balancing it up with the ongoing increased cost that we're facing pretty much across the whole business.
Yeah, I think I said it in my message to supporters that came out around about the same time as the prices. I didn't enjoy the process of setting the prices at all, because we're all fully aware on the board how difficult it is for so many people with the way the world is at the moment. In an ideal world, we would have kept the prices at the same level and not increased them, but we're not in that ideal world. The costs that we're encountering at Edgar Street with the infrastructure and utilities and everything are rising massively, and therefore to try and at least do something to try and help the club's finances a little bit, we had to increase them a little bit. We kept the price increase as low as we realistically felt we could, to help supporters as much as we could, and I genuinely mean that. We did want to do that. We haven't really got that close to covering the additional costs we've got, but equally I think we have a responsibility to our supporters to try and help them as much as we can. Hopefully we will sell significant numbers of season tickets, because it makes a huge difference over the summer months, and obviously makes a huge difference in terms of helping Paul in his planning over the summer. But I completely appreciate how difficult it is for people, and that people have got difficult choices to make in all areas of their life, let alone their football club. And I'd love it if we sell 900 plus season tickets again, Jamie, and it would be absolutely brilliant. Maybe if we could get to 1,000 with the kind of hope and excitement of a new managerial appointment. But people have got to do what's right for their families at the end of the day, and I fully respect that. And I hope that people understand that we have done our best in terms of the prices. We really have.
And in terms of setting the football budget for next season, I think we said in the fans forum that we attended a few weeks ago, we've been quite cautious. It's a reserved budget, but we hope that if season ticket sales are above our expectations and another kind of commercial revenue, that will go straight to the playing budget.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty simple as a person, and the way I see it is we need to just make sure we've got enough money in place every single year to run Edgar Street, run the infrastructure, run the club operationally. And once we know we've got all those costs covered, then everything beyond that, we should be looking to invest in the football side. Obviously, we'd like to put a few reserves away if we possibly can for a rainy day. But I think at the end of the day, we are all football fans. Every single one of us on the board is a football fan. All the office staff are Hereford fans. We want to try and do as much as all the other supporters. We want success on the field. We've obviously got to be responsible, and we've got to take care about what we do, because it's not our club, it's everybody's club, and we've got to make sure that's protected. But yeah, the more season tickets we sell, the more commercial revenue that we can bring in. All those things make a huge difference. And obviously we've got to look from a business perspective, trying to bring in as much money as we possibly can and increase the commercial income. And that's what we're looking at doing.
Looking away from season tickets, obviously one of the big money saving things that right from day one has been the fact that volunteers come in and do pretty much every job around the place, from turnstiles, selling tickets, manning the club shop, to tidying up and maintaining the stadium. And after the game on Saturday, we had a bit of a get together for volunteers and staff, where there were 2 fantastic bar staff behind the bar, I think. Just to tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I thought one of the bar staff was absolutely exemplary.
Thank you.
I thought I did a great job, Jamie, and I sort of carried you as usual through the process. No, it was a really enjoyable evening. Actually, it's so important. The volunteers are so important to the football club, and I think inviting them in for a drink like that and having a bit of a social gathering to celebrate the end of the season is the very least we can do. Without them, the costs of the club would be even higher, and they do a huge number of different jobs right across the club, and they keep the club ticking over on a day-to-day basis, and on a match day they are absolutely vital. I tried to get round as many as I possibly could on Saturday during the course of the afternoon to say thank you, and then obviously said thank you to them again on Saturday night. But it was a really nice evening, and I think everybody enjoyed themselves. I think it was quite entertaining. We managed to keep up with serving the beers. We weren't very good at washing the glasses, but we were quite good at serving the beer, so that was all right. But it was just a really, really nice evening, and obviously there was a few of the players were hung around as well so they were there as well, which was nice for the volunteers to be able to mingle and speak to them, which was really nice. So yeah, that was a great evening. Really important we do it, and the volunteers are absolutely vital. As I've said 3 times already, they are absolutely vital. We need more. If there are more people out there who'd like to step forward and help us, we'd always be hugely grateful. And it's just a massive, massive, massive thank you on behalf of the board and on behalf of the staff and on behalf of all supporters to everybody who gives up their time free of charge to assist the football club.
Looking ahead to next season, obviously, we want there to be a little bit of excitement, a new manager in place. There's obviously going to be some new faces coming on board as well on the playing side of things. But I guess it's with a change in manager, we want to give him a little bit of time as well. We can't expect too many things straight away, can we?
No, 100%. It's Paul's first job. I'm confident that he is going to prove himself to be a very capable manager moving forward. But again, it's like when you're putting a squad of players together, no matter how many changes there are, it always takes time to bed in. And I think supporters will appreciate that. And, I'm pretty simple. I just want to see a group of players giving their all for the ball on their shirt. And I'm speaking to Paul. I think that's the very least he's going to demand of people. When he said that he'll make no apologies for wanting his team to be in the fittest in the division, I absolutely agreed him. I almost went for a run for myself, Jay, at that point in time. I thought I'd better butt my own ideas up. But yeah, no, I think
I've noticed your Strava being very inactive lately, to be perfectly honest with you. I was going to mention it.
Yeah, I think my Strava app has maybe glitched in recent times, Jamie. It's not working quite so well at the moment. But yeah, no, it's gonna take a little bit of time, isn't it? You can't expect, to hit the ground running every single time. Clearly it'll be absolutely fabulous if we are, and I'm sure Paul would absolutely love to, and that will be his aim. But it's not always perfect, is it? So we'll have to wait and see how it goes and see how it gets on. And yeah, no, it'd be really interesting to see. Pre-season will be interesting, and just as the squad develops over the summer months, to see where we are. And when we return in, is it July? I guess will be pre-season friendly time, where I wanted to see where we are and see where we get to. But yeah, no, exciting times ahead, I think, and I'm really optimistic for where we go. And just one other thing I meant to say on the season ticket sales is obviously we're offering people the instalment option this year, which I think is important. It's not it's not as good as we'd like it to be, because it's going to be a case of 3 instalments over 3 months over the summer, but it does allow people to break their payment into 3 rather than just the 1 full payment. Clearly, from the club's perspective, the full payments are better for us because we know where we stand over the summer, but we know that people need support in the current climate, and it just gives people the chance to split their payment in 3 over the summer months, and then they make the final payment before the start of the season, and then they get the joy of having their season ticket card handed over ahead of an exciting 23-24 campaign.